I'm Tom Baker, this is Chasing Cars, and this slick little wagon next to me is the Volvo V40. That's right, I called it a wagon, because with this long and low roofline, the V40 looks nothing like a dumpy hatch, and everything like the slick European 5-door that it is. But semantics aside, the V40 has come in for a refresh this year, gifting it the XC90's Hammer of Thor headlights, plus some new visual changes here and there. Plus, these Polestar wheels are an immediate giveaway that our V40 has a performance pack on it as well, which adds power plus additional visual delight. Well, given that the V40 is priced somewhere between a nice Golf and a Mercedes A-Class, is this smallest Volvo the small luxury car that you've been looking for? Jump inside the V40 and yeah, the first thing you think is how good the quality is. Volvo are famous for building good interiors, and just because the V40 is the smallest of the range doesn't mean that they've skimped inside. Quite the opposite. The V40 actually feels more luxurious than a Mercedes A-Class. These seats are incredibly comfortable. They are definitely on the snug side, but I found that they offered great support over long trips. The leather's nice and soft, and these ones are heated as well. And although this console is starting to feel a little bit dated compared with Volvo's newer touch-based interiors in the XC90 and S90, you do learn to use it quite quickly, and the 7-inch screen is at least really sharp. Plus the sound system is absolutely awesome. However, the overriding feeling in here is that it's quite compact. There are still cubbies, there's a little box down there, 2 decent sized cup holders and fairly big door bins, but in terms of the feeling of space, even a Volkswagen Golf feels more spacious inside. Although this is a snug car, you do feel like you've got enough room here in the back for 2 adults. For me at 6'0", you can see that I've got just enough headroom, and I've got decent legroom sitting behind myself here. Plus I've also got this little drop down armrest, and I've got some cup holders down here as well. I just wish I had some air vents so I could stay cool while I tell you about the price of this car, because the V40 can go from decent value through to very expensive if you start ticking lots of options. So this car started life as a decent value D4 inscription for about 44 grand. But adding those Polestar bits cost another $10,000 on this car. So it starts to enter pretty expensive premium hatch territory quite quickly. What I would recommend though is going for the slightly more expensive T5 petrol, because if you're going to buy a nice premium entry-level luxury car like this, you want it to have decent power and you want it to drive really nicely, and that car does. Open up the boot of the V40, it's a manual thing, you can't actually get an electric tailgate here, and you'll find that the room is okay. So at 335 litres behind those rear seats, that's as much as a Mercedes A-Class, and you do get a way wider and more convenient opening. But you've got to wonder why the Volkswagen Golf, which is shorter, has more space at 380 litres, but whatever. However, this isn't too clever of a boot. There aren't hooks to tie down your delicate groceries, and there's also a bit of a lip here that you've got to lift your suitcases over. But you can drop those rear seats and give yourself more room if you want to try and get some Swedish flat pack furniture into this car. An all-new Volvo V40 is still a few years off, but as simple and luxurious transport, that doesn't really matter because the current car still drives pretty well. There's a range of turbo petrol and diesel engines. They're all fairly recently developed and they're all pretty good. So this D4 diesel comes back with really good fuel economy in the range of about 7 litres per 100 kilometres in the real world. But I actually think it's the T5 turbo petrol that best suits the character of this car and provides the best thrills. A word to the wise on the Polestar performance pack. It's tempting, it increases the torque by about 10%, which sounds like a lot, but it ruins the ride. So the V40 is already quite a firm riding car, and those beautiful wheels, although they look great, they actually worsen that problem. So stick with the stock wheels and tyres. You can't notice that much difference in the power and torque, to be honest, and you'll end up not crashing into every pothole, which is a positive. So how does the V40 handle normally? Well, not too badly, but a BMW 1 Series is much more engaging for the driver. What this car excels at is cosseting you while you drive. You sit here in these ultra comfortable seats, you're listening to a great stereo, you're enjoying this beautifully built interior, and you think, yeah, this is the place to be. So if you're like me and you think those things are worthwhile, then this might be the car for you. So what do I think of the Volvo V40? Well, this is a stylish, unique and luxurious small car, and a refreshing alternative to the German options. Go easy on the options, and the value isn't too bad, making the V40 quite an easy car to recommend.